this get made? We're gonna have a good time, celebrate some failure, not just be a hater. Cause you know you wonder, how did this get made? Let's wallow in the mediocrity of subpar art. Perhaps we'll find the answer to the question, how did this get made?
Hello, people of Earth, and welcome to How Did This Get Made? I'm your host, Paul Scheer, joined, as always, by my co-host, Jason Mantzoukas. How are you, Jason?
I'm good, Paul. How are you?
Very good. And June Diane Rayfield. How are you, June?
I'm doing well. How are you, Paul?
Very good. We are very lucky to have another Rayfield in the studio today, the host of one of my favorite podcasts on the Wolf Pop Network. Please welcome Deanna Rayfield. How are you, Deanna?
I'm great. I'm so happy to be here.
You say that she's also a family member?
Well, I would assume that people would put that all together.
Okay.
I would also assume that
my name is no longer Deanna Rayfield.
Oh my gosh,
Deanna Cheng.
So just
Whoa, hold on.
Just
I've
an
already
FYI.
messed up. I've already messed
but
that
just
up.
for the sake of familial relationships, June, Deanna, June.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
If you can't understand the difference between our voices, it's because they're the same.
Guys, you got double Junes on the show. Well, yes, Deanna Cheng, host of OMFG on the Wolf Pop channel, one of the best podcasts out there. So take a listen to that.
Man.
Let's talk about this movie, but first, before we get into it.
By the way, you're welcome.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I did not know of this movie. Netflix definitely listened and put this up almost immediately after we mentioned we wanted to do it on the live
So
episode.
you had never heard Top That?
Never.
Wow.
And top that,
Yeah.
and Richie the brother, is such a touchstone in my life that it registered for me as a reference in what podcast is Streets of Fire? No,
one of them, yeah.
One of those from that night. And that mention alone created a firestorm of people demanding. I got emails from people that were like, I need to be the guest on that episode. This movie means a lot to people.
I've never seen it. It paid off to me in an amazing way. But if you don't know anything about Teen Witch and you plan not to watch it, which I highly don't recommend, because it's so easy to watch on Netflix, I'll tell you a little bit about the plot. According to IMDb, this is the logline. Louise is not very popular at her high school, and then she learns that she's descended from the witches
Why are
of
you
Salem.
calling her Louise?
I don't know. Louis.
Is it Luis Guzman?
Wait, now I feel
Louise?
confused.
What-
Louise.
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 Guys, I've already messed up
Luis
two names. I'm already
Guzman.
sweating because
This is like, oh boy. Oh, there's so
Oh,
many.
man.
There's so many names in this movie too. What's gonna happen?
What did I
So
do?
Luis Guzman is a teen witch. He's like, I don't know. What do I go? Abracadabra? I don't know what to do.
All right, well, Louis? How do you pronounce it? Now I can't.
Now I don't know.
Louise.
June,
Jeez Louise.
how did
Jeez
he say
Louise.
it?
I
There
think
you
'cause I was
go.
looking at it
Louise.
spelled out. Louise.
Luis.
I am
Hey, Louis.
awful at pronouncing names.
No.
Like, I am terrible about it.
Is that true?
Jacob? Yes. I don't know what that is, why I've become that.
I feel like it is part of your identity on the show.
I think it has to be.
I
It's
feel like the
also-
message boards are already like 1 minute in and Paul's already messed up a name.
Twice. Two.
No, because I'm watching you read the plot summary. I think if you hadn't read it and if you had just been talking about her,
I would have said
you would
Louise.
never have said the wrong name.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah, I think looking at Louise, it looks like Louise.
You might have to start writing them out phonetically. L-O-O.
I mean, I carry. I do it with June. I have when
E-E-S-E.
I have a cue card in my pocket of a calendar month, and I know when I look at that, that's how I pronounce June's name.
There
Sometimes
are a couple people in our life, and they'll remain nameless. Well, because we don't know how to say their names, but where we've gone over the pronunciation of their names.
You have to say
mean,
one. You have to.
I can't. I'm too scared the listener will be.
Oh, I will say that we all have a very good friend who only calls a good friend of ours Segunda.
Oh, really?
Segunda. Well, have we talked about Segunda? And I'll be like, are we still doing this?
Not intentionally.
No. He just that's his idea of Andy's name. Andy Segunda. And I'm like, you know that's categorically just not his name.
See, I don't mess it up that bad. I mispronounce aggressively. I think I overlook it.
You just did it perfectly. Aggressively.
Teen Witch, according to IMDb, is about a girl named Luis Guzman who's not very popular at her high school. She learns she's descended from the witches of Salem and has inherited their powers. At first, she uses them to get back at the girls and the teachers who teased her and win the heart of the handsome footballer's captain. But soon she has doubts if it's right to cheat her way to popularity. That is the premise. But boy, oh boy, it does not get into the beauty of
Actually,
this
say
movie.
she has doubts from the beginning.
She does. But what's interrupting those doubts is 10 to 12 musical numbers.
Well, it is a musical, but it's also, I think
It's
that...
not a musical. No, it's not a
No, it's
musical.
not a musical
It's
at
not
all.
a musical in the sense of like a quote unquote musical, but it is full of music videos.
Yes,
it is
because
full of
nobody
like
is- Nobody is
songs.
singing songs, with the exception of Top That.
With the exception of Top That, and I've got the High School Blues.
Who sings I've Got the High School Blues?
What? The guys, the white
Oh,
rappers?
of
Yeah.
course. I'm so sorry. Of
The
course.
white
But they're a
rappers
musical
would-
number.
No,
In blazers, white rappers in blazers.
Of course, I
by the
forgot
one
about
of them, Robert Blake's son. So
He did it.
He did it. We know it. Next season of American Crime Story, please. No, the thing that I had the same thought. It's in their head, but it's not, because when she's in the locker room and they're singing the new
I Like
cheer,
Boys?
I Like Boys.
She played the boombox.
Well, she played the boombox, and then
No, she didn't play
Yes,
the
yes,
boombox.
Yes, she did.
Because
That song is coming from
the boombox.
She says,
Oh,
I
no, no,
have the
yes.
music for
the
our
girl
new
played
cheer.
the boombox, not
Yes.
Louise.
Louise,
No.
though, is
Yeah.
always
Okay.
constantly peeking around lockers
Correct.
and
Yeah,
looking.
she's
So
a
it is
creep.
happening.
Oh no, it's
Yes, it's
the
definitely
music is diegetic to the scenes. That's the
Right.
word.
Oh,
Nailed
wow.
it. But it is not sung. It is not like it's not a musical in the sense of Grease, where people burst into
Oh,
song
okay, I see what you're saying.
and sing the next like.
What
blah,
So
blah,
they
blah.
are, though, breaking out into large choreographed dance numbers,
routines,
but it's
yes.
not.
So it's
they
more like
only are-
music videos are happening during the course of the movie.
right? that
That's
are
right.
completely choreographed and not a fiction of someone's imagination.
Correct.
That's crazy.
Oh, but this movie, the movie begins with like what seems to me to be like the beginning of a Showtime movie or a Cinemax movie that's going to end in someone getting fingered on the rooftop.
I said it's like a tentative lambada.
Yeah.
It's like they're trying to be sexy, but you also see the fear in their eyes that they might fall off this building, which they clearly like. Just get up there, kids.
Get
Put
on
on
the
those
edge.
high heels.
Get on the edge.
Well, are there vocals to that song in the beginning? That's
No,
just all
it's
like,
like all like
saxophone.
plaintive saxophone
Yeah.
music.
Yeah, they look scared.
I will say that this is the most and you're welcome really applies to me, because for some reason I never got my eyes on this movie, and it is happening like when I was from middle school, like 8th grade
This
to
is
9th
you.
grade. This is me. I don't look at this movie and go like, oh, that's funny. The styles are funny. The fashions. It's like I see it. I'm in it.
And I
it's
saw
me.
you too.
You did.
I saw you too.
Wait, did you see me in the oversized grandpa coat she
That's
walked
right.
in? Okay, thank you.
Because Deanna would wear a lot of like giant blazers.
Right.
Yes.
Like giant gray blazers and giant Oxford shirts underneath them, and then like a brooch. Like tying the shirt together, and then like a piece of lace somewhere too.
Absolutely, a neckerchief around the neck.
Neckerchief.
These are things that were absolute. It was me
Happening.
coming into my style.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, so
Same.
I look at this and I'm like, yup and yup
Wait,
and yup.
You were wearing outfits like that in
I was
school?
wearing. I wasn't
Piano
wearing
ties?
outfits. No. I mean, like, there's definitely a period where I'm dressing somewhere between Ducky and
Wow.
You know, like I
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
Really?
like I was like, because to me this is 1989. This movie. And this movie is the very end of high school for me. End of high school.
Okay.
So, like, a lot of there was definitely blazers. There was definitely like the blazer
A lot
look.
of clothes, like a lot of clothing and layers
Oh
of
yeah.
clothing.
Oh yeah.
Like
That-
vests and blazers.
Correct.
Yeah, skirt and tutu
Yep.
above.
It's
yeah.
amazing
Oh,
that anyone
yeah.
got out of the house in the late 80s, because the amount of clothes you have to put on and then the amount of gel and mousse that you have
Oh,
to put
yeah.
in your
Yeah.
hair.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
really committing to a long time in that bathroom. Blow drying, of course.
I'd
Absolutely.
love those Ducky pics whenever it's clever.
I'll send you
Okay.
some. I'll send you some. Yeah, no, there was. It really was like this. Definitely rang a lot of bells for me as well. And this is a movie that I in college for some reason became obsessed with.
Wow.
My friends and I used to watch this obsessively, and my girlfriend and I for years later would quote top that.
Yeah.
We would quote, my favorite line of the entire movie is Richie's line where he goes, I took the liberty of ironing your homework. His line
so
deliveries
upset by him.
are masterful.
By the way-
is one of the finest actors of our time.
He's introduced
amazing.
eating a chocolate cake under his sister's bed.
Well, I want to talk about Richie in great detail, but
A
let's,
chocolate cake. Did I say chocolate milk?
No,
Chocolate cake.
everybody's worried now about what they're saying.
I just want to say the right thing. Did I say the wrong thing? I'm so sorry to chocolate milk and to chocolate cake.
and Andrew Secunda. Here is just a mashup of Richie's best lines. We'll get into Richie here in a second. Here,
Richie is the main character's younger brother.
Who is-
like the annoying younger brother.
take a listen.
Richie, get out of there, you little pinhead.
Touch me and die, lady.
All you think about is food.
All you think about is Brad, the red hot lover. Brad, the great. Oh, Brad.
You have been reading my diary again, haven't you?
Brad? Kiss me, darling. Oh, I love to feel your arms around me.
No one's coming to your sweet 16 party.
Because you went to a dance. Dream on. Nobody wants to date you because you're a dog. A dog.
A dog.
I prepared you a wholesome breakfast. Your morning paper. I took the liberty of ironing your homework.
That is a little touch of
my
Richie.
That was the other one that we used to say all the time. You think you're hot stuff because you went to a dance. You're a dog.
Richie, to me, has some problems with his eating. I am worried about
He has
Richie.
a raging eating disorder.
All the characters, I'm worried about them off screen because they all come with extensive baggage. But Richie being the
Right.
one that is the most unchecked, and I would say the drama teacher being the second one.
Yeah, I'm
Well, I'm
very
ready, I'm ready
concerned
to talk
her.
about the drama teacher
Love.
very shortly. But Richie, I do think he's
Pre-diabetic.
neglected too. Well, first of all, I think this must have been written for a much fatter kid because Richie the actor is not overweight for the amount he's eating.
Well, eventually he will be.
He will be, but he's
Originally, John Candy was cast in the part.
See, that makes sense.
But John Candy kept on eating all the food.
Yes. And then
so
they also realized he was a grown man.
But Richie does not get any attention from his parents.
No.
It's all about Luis Guzman.
Yeah.
And he's just acting out all over the place.
I don't think he's acting out. The boy is hungry. And he's not even hungry
He's
on
just
normal
trying to eat
levels.
food, Paul.
Like, why is he
Well,
eating?
he's that like neglected second kid.
Yeah.
You know, although Luis Guzman is also neglected. Like it's like the riff is like again 89.
Yeah.
So all the John Hughes movies have happened.
Yes.
So this is
Right.
basically what if Sweet 16 had magic in it? No, 16 Candles. Sorry, what if 16 Candles had magic in it? Like
And threw like a dash of Grease 2
yes.
into it. Just a
Yes.
sprinkling of
Yes.
Grease 2 was.
And the witch woman from Poltergeist and all the other movies
man,
who I
I love
love.
her.
I thought that this movie felt
She's
distinctly
amazing.
Canadian
Amazing.
too, even though it's not Canadian. It just felt very
Funny.
clean and like oddly sanitized. Like even though they were in locations in LA that seemed seemingly dangerous, like going over that LA bridge in the late or the early 90s is not a safe place at all. It just felt like they were in a very idyllic
Yeah.
setting, and it just
Well, I
felt very
do think-
safe and no people of color.
And the
Zero
parents,
people
zero people
of color.
Like not even extras in the background. Like
Nope.
No.
it is
Wow.
white.
Yeah, no, white to the degree that there are numerous rap performances perpetrated by like very wealthy white people.
Yeah, it is a.
Was the main rapper giving you Bobo like Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, a little bit like a
little bit.
brunette version of him.
Yeah, I kept thinking,
I can see that.
yeah.
It's interesting the
Noah Blake
parents.
you're talking about.
Luis Guzman's parents, because for the longest time, I kept thinking if her mom was so beautiful, her mom is beautiful at her age, you know, that we meet her, but she was also beautiful in high school. We do find out that she was an ugly duckling in middle school. But why wouldn't she ever lean in and say, hey, let me brush your hair out. Let's try on a few. Like her mom was so stylish and gorgeous.
Except that her mom is the one that got her that sweater vest. They are trying to keep her
a baby
buttoned up. Because remember, she is also younger than everybody in high school. She skipped a grade.
Right.
She's a year younger.
So she's a year younger, so I feel like the parents are trying to keep her a year younger and are afraid of her burgeoning sensuality.
Well, because they said
her sexual awakening.
They said we found this for you in the young miss department, right? That was the but it didn't seem like they were intentionally.
I guess what seems strange to me about that is that her mom is like a sexy older woman who seems to.
We get it, June. You're into the mom.
I love that mom, by the way, Karen
Call
Kay
her
from
mom
It's Your
too.
Movie.
And the
Like
dad is
Sargent.
Dick Sargent from Bewitched.
Was
So
he
good.
wearing eyeliner the whole time?
I don't know, but I also found the dad's relationship with her to be a little strange. Like he was almost a little too connected to her for my liking.
Okay.
Whoa,
You
wait,
thought
wait.
he had designs on her?
No, I didn't know what was going on. I felt like it was odd that they were so involved with her and they didn't care about the second brother at all.
The dad seemed to have a sense that like she wanted more and she was going to blossom one day. I agree with you about the mom. I never got the sense, like when she put a bag together and changed in the locker room, I was like, wow, I don't think her mom would trip
care.
out if she wore a cute outfit.
They weren't
neither.
shown to be like
Strict.
repressive parents. I think that they, if anything, they just seem out of touch. I think that that's what they were going for. Like they don't know what's cool and hip.
Or
And
they
I
don't
guess
know.
what I would have done is made the mom more like
More like
frumpy.
the teacher.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I felt like the parents were just detached.
Yeah, overall.
You know what I mean?
from
The
what was
dad's
going
reading the
on.
paper. The mom is like getting her clothes that aren't relevant for the now. Like they just seem to me to be classic. It is not unlike the parents in 16 Candles who've forgotten that it's their birthday.
They
and who
are, yes.
But they're more
neglecting
checked
her.
out. Like they're like these parents
They're
seem like they're
focused on
home.
the other daughter.
Right,
you know?
where this parent seems like they're home, they're having dinner together, they're having breakfast together. They're
And they
just
did have a birthday party for her.
which it just seems like why would you have a birthday party in the middle of a week? Everyone knows you
'Cause that's a
don't
bummer
have.
move.
Yeah, and even her best friend is super late to the party. The cake has been served.
Love that girl.
She's
amazing.
amazing.
The best friend is my
amazing.
favorite character
Yeah.
in any movie ever.
She's like the 1980s quintessential amalgam. She is Kimmy Gibbler meets like every one of the ones that's like you're not
Blossom. and-
you're
she's everyone.
She's that side character in every one of those.
Oh,
movies.
she is so
She's
good.
hats.
Hats,
hats.
blossom hats all day,
Exactly.
every day.
Exactly.
When she pulled that hat down and did top, I know we're not at
Dude.
top that, but like that
It's-
slow drop, I was like, yeah.
It's thrilling.
Yeah, it was exciting.
And the thing is, this movie also hits a sweet spot for me of coming of age, high school kind of movies. It's not unlike Patrick Dempsey and what's her name when he gets to become popular. He's driving the lawnmower.
You Can't Buy Me Love.
Can't Buy Me Love. There's a bunch of movies where it is the entire movie is predicated on the artificial ascendancy of a nerd to popularity
Greatness.
status, right? And then a fall from grace. And I love this one, and I love it because every single category of person is perfect. You know, her friend, her nerdy friend with hats, we'll call her Hats. Hats is great. The popular guys are great. Like, isn't the popular guy's name Jake?
Brad.
Brad. Might as well
Jake
be
is
Jake
16
Lacey
Candles,
from
yeah.
16 Candles. Not Jake Lacey. What's his name? Jake.
No, is it Jake Lacey?
Jake Lacey is the
Jake
actor
Lacey is an
from
actor
Obvious
from-
Child. But it is It is something like that. Anyway,
It is Jake Lacey.
all of these people they're fitting all of the perfect quintessential 80s archetypes into a movie that then has all of these amazing weird music numbers and magic, and it is kind of a perfect movie.
Well, here's my complaint, though. And this is why I will say it's not a perfect movie.
Oh, boy.
Because I would rather Hats want a music career. What I feel like Louise Guzman has done wrong with her powers is she's assuming everybody wants what she does, that everybody wants love. And that's not the case.
Jake Ryan.
Thank you.
I think it would have been a stronger choice for Hats to just want to be a rapper and to want to top that. Same goes for the acting teacher. The acting teacher's already told us she wanted to be a Broadway star.
Right. But she gets
But they
a
give
man.
her a man.
Right.
She gives everyone
A man.
love.
She's selfish.
Well,
She
No,
is.
she's a
it
teenager.
weirdly-
She's a teenager.
but
She doesn't
she's selfish
know.
in that she assumes that they all want what she wants.
Correct. But as like a 15-year-old would.
Yeah, but I don't think
You know what I mean?
But
Like, I don't think she sets out to demonstrably give everybody within their own lives what they want. I don't think she's savvy enough to understand. I think she is just has
Giving.
this weird power and is giving it out into the world.
Can I talk about what I think the major problem with this movie is?
Oh, boy.
You're Mr. Miyagi. That is, of
I
course,
am?
Madam Serena Alcott. The
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Miyagi
Yeah.
character teaches no consequences.
Correct.
She is like, do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. She's not like, with great power comes
And
great
when
responsibility.
Not
She's
at
like, go. Let's be
And
popular.
give me more.
And
Yeah.
yes, and when Luis Guzman comes back and says, you know what, I don't know that I like this. I don't know if he likes it me for me. She's like, who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Who
like, be
cares?
popular. And,
Yes.
and the witch doesn't learn her lesson at all. The witch is like, just wants to get her laid, and at the end, you see it in the big wide. She's getting laid by the English teacher who strips.
Oh my God, I missed that.
Yeah, well, it's very. You
very
just see
small.
them small in the background.
But
But it's full penetration.
yeah, because he still has his pants off
Yeah.
from the beginning.
And she's inexplicably,
Right.
she's just screaming, "Go towards the light! Go towards the light!"
But I think but I think her Mr. Miyagi is bad because
Yeah.
she doesn't learn any lessons, and her magic is also flawed because
Oh, yeah.
if she says you're a dog, then
Yeah.
he's a dog. But then other times to get somebody to fall in love, she's got to say this like Latin poem.
Yeah.
And then other times,
Okay.
Voodoo doll.
yeah, then voodoo dolls.
How
and
come
then,
nobody notices she has a voodoo doll?
Well, she's doing it at home, right?
Nope.
Yes.
She's in
No,
she
it's in
was
class.
in
class with
class.
her.
She's sitting in class
Oh, right.
undressing
Yes,
a
you're right.
large voodoo doll.
Okay, even
No.
crazier is what the most popular girl in school does not realize that her cousin has gone missing.
Yep.
Okay, I was trying to.
long
No, this is
time.
what I think because we never learn where
Yeah.
he is
Never.
gone. But I think because the brother turned back after water, and
just assuming
well,
he
we're gonna assume that her powers are not that strong, and eventually his essence hit water, and he came back.
God, I hope so.
Are we
Yeah, well.
saying if that drama teacher to go on the vacation and there's water there that she'll fall out of love?
She will.
Well,
fall
she
out of
gets the
love, yeah.
postcard though. That is like, we're having the best time. Me and what's his name?
Armando.
have to
This
say,
water,
I
this
do-
water is a very tricky part of this.
I have to say, I do think with the drama teacher, it did upset me that her life changed dramatically, and I worry about that count or whoever that was she found. Because she was an interesting character in that she
And she
clearly
seemed
had
happy.
dreams deferred,
Yeah.
yes, but she was happy with where she was. And then to take her and to actually project Luis Guzman's own sadness onto her
Yep.
was actually beyond selfish.
Yes.
It was really, that is kind of cruel.
No, she took away this woman's life and gave her like a storybook romance that is untenable for the rest of your life, I think.
Yeah.
No, but I think she made it work, right?
She's going around the world. There's going to be
I
water
mean-
somewhere.
Oh boy.
Water will happen at
And
some time.
what's she gonna do? She's gonna go. She doesn't have her job anymore. Maybe she can go back to being the receptionist at the Bob Newhart show.
Or Mrs. Crabapple from The Simpsons.
Yes.
The one thing that I thought was maybe a flaw, the thing that I was kind of missing was that Brad, like she was very, very shallow. Brad never gave us anything except for looks.
Yep.
We
Not a
never
damn
saw
thing.
one moment where Brad, except for being like, yeah, it's hard to be popular sometimes. That was like his
Well,
one
he's
day.
afraid to go to college, right?
Yes, and he did say that he didn't know if people liked him for him.
Okay, but that's just hard. That's why it's hard to be popular, like Big Whoop. You know what I mean? It's not a real deep dive into who Brad is. We never got to know.
I don't know.
But we don't
I
know
that
Polly
Brad knows
either.
who Brad is either.
Well,
but
but it's
that's
a
why
love
you would think
spell,
she would
right?
see him eventually and be like, you know what, he's not that great. But she
That's
kept
interesting.
wanting him the whole time. And I'm like, okay, well,
But if it was a love
interesting.
spell, again, I go back to this faulty magic because she goes, I wish he would look at me. Then he looks at her and goes, I wish he would come over. Then he comes over. Then he's like, help me with my reading test? Like,
Yeah.
so he was planning to come over and always ask for help? Like, I guess like I don't understand how the magic works.
Well, I also didn't understand. We were told that the magic was going to kick in on her 16th birthday.
Yeah.
And then we were told it was because she was wearing a special amulet, which, like, if she hadn't found that, would she ever have...
It found her. I'm sorry, June.
I'm so
the
sorry.
amulet found
I'm
her.
so sorry. Okay.
When
It
Serena
found
looked
her.
into her palm and saw that she was a witch, like
Yeah.
her acting in that, what Serena gave when she
Yeah.
saw her witchness in that palm, I was like, she's like really good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Zelda Rubinstein. Or
So
whatever. She's great.
wonderful.
Here's just an interesting fact about this movie. This movie was a straight up ripoff of Teen Wolf. It was supposed to just be a female version of Teen Wolf.
Oh.
It went so far to borrow the font and lettering for the title, the tagline, and the plot. That was just in response to Michael J. Fox's great Teen Wolf, which I loved and was shot before Back to the Future.
Well, wait, this was the other thing I was going to say, though. It was supposed to be Friday. It was supposed to be right at her 16th birthday. Then she happened to find the amulet, or it found her. And then it really didn't kick in until it was Friday the 13th.
Wait, that was part of it?
Yes.
Wasn't that all on the same day?
No, I think days had gone by after her 16th birthday.
She had a really
and then
tough day because
finding-
in my mind, I'm like, the teacher read her diary.
And
She
then,
was
by
almost
the
run
way-
off the road.
Remember
Horrible.
that?
That was
terrible.
I felt
No.
for
Nope.
her. I was like, this is
Yeah.
Because
the
she's
most
also younger than
humiliating
them
thing.
all. You know,
Yeah.
she's a young kid,
But
and
she's
she's
hated.
As June said, 1 year. I mean, let's
1 year. Yeah, she's not that
You know,
much
I mean,
younger.
she's 1 year. Let's. It's a
but she
cutoff in a school
skipped
year.
a grade. And remember when she gets there, and the hip hop boys are like, "Should you even be in high school?"
Meanwhile, with her
remember that.
overgrown jacket, I thought she looked like a grandma, and that's what they were saying.
Oh, interesting.
June, Diane. Not only did she get that red, but she had the cajon to go after
the balls.
the balls to go after being humiliated in class to creep around and look at him on
I
the
couldn't
football
believe
field. I was
that.
like,
I was actually like, well, that's where I lose you.
Yeah.
That's where I
And
lose you.
auditioned to be
his love interest.
his love interest
and give it
in the
everything
play.
she got during that
and
audition.
crushed. Is what I didn't
Who's this
do.
director?
I didn't do plays in high school or anything like that. Did you audition everybody fully off book?
Oh, yeah, of course.
I don't know.
remember being
I was
No,
like,
you don't do
what?
scenes. You don't like match up scene partners. That was like a chemistry test. But
Yes,
I
you
did.
do. We were matched up in high school. I
think
With
like
chemistry
that.
tests?
Yes,
Really?
yes. Like they
Yeah.
these were the guys and these were the girls, and they were going to mix and match to
Okay.
find the couples.
Well, I just love that in the director assigning parts,
Yeah.
they pretty much go like, all right, here's the lead, the second lead, and then the assistant costume person
Yeah.
is you. Like that's how
Not
you
a
give out
part.
parts. It's not a part.
No other below the line things. You're the lead, you're the other lead, and assistant costume designer Louise Guzman.
You don't audition to be an assistant costume
Nope.
designer. Like, 'cause she may not have any talent in
I
costuming
just
at
want
all.
everybody to know you didn't get it.
By the way she's dressed, I wouldn't give her assistant costumer at all.
Slam. Major slam.
But yeah, so we're here to say that her diary was read. She auditioned for the play. She was run off by the road. It was her birthday. No one showed up. And she met the witch all on the same day.
Yeah.
It's a big day.
that is a big day.
Big
By the
day.
way, when she's run off the road and Brad finds her like in a ditch,
Run off the road because Brad
Is
is
making
getting an
out with-
HJ from his girlfriend in the car.
yeah.
By the way,
And how
interesting-
late was it?
Interesting fact.
I don't know.
Brad and that actress ran off to get married after the movie.
Stop.
And they're still married.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Congrats
that's
to
great.
them.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I thought it was crazy where she's like, "You don't have to drive me home," and he's like, "I know I don't." It's like,
Yeah.
actually, you do have
Yeah.
to drive her home, and you should.
Yeah.
She
Whoa.
was hit by a car.
She was run off the road. It's a little different.
He should still drive her
He
home.
should drive her home and be a gentleman.
How weird was it when she goes back to talk to Madame Serena and Matt sits on Madame Serena's lap, and then they're
Okay.
like, "Oh no, this doesn't work." And then Madame Serena sits on her lap.
Well, then
And
they,
they
was
laughed
then they
about
have a
it.
good laugh.
I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
That was like, I feel like a bit that they did in rehearsal.
Yeah.
And then it stuck in the movie. Like that was like, oh, this will be fun.
It's like she's a
But that's
gorgeous
always, like,
face.
she's all that,
I know,
all that.
but like they could have
it's
thrown a pair of
interesting.
glasses or something.
It's interesting. This is also an era where the girl lead who can't be too beautiful but can't be too plain has to be a redhead.
Okay.
Oh,
You know,
right.
you've got
That's
your
the
Molly
thing.
Ringwalds, you've got your Leah Thompsons,
Yeah.
you've got your Robyn Lively's. They are
interesting.
straddling so that they can be done up and be beautiful, or they can be done down and be a little plainer. But they are not bombshell blondes, and they are not plain brunettes, you know?
It's interesting because so what you're saying is by virtue of having red hair,
She's ugly
they're
enough.
already ugly.
They are already other.
They're unicorns in their
They are
own way.
other. They are something. They are something that doesn't have as much of a
Right.
stereotype to it.
By the way, we're talking about redheads that are also not true redheads. Like
Oh,
we're not
no.
talking about Anne of Green Gables.
Oh,
we're talking about
Pippi Longstocking. We're not talking about like
There's not
Pippi
freckle, yeah.
Longstocking.
we're talking
Gross.
about
Like
like
the most sexual being on the planet.
yeah, we're talking about like I don't even know how to describe the red, but it's
Like Auburny.
It's Leah Thompson's hair from
Leah
Howard the
Thompson's
Duck.
hair,
It's very similar. It's brown red.
and blonde red at the same time.
Yeah,
it's not.
It's in that middle zone because that's the middle zone. That is
Right.
like it's somewhere in between. You know, like and the woman that is her neighbor who's like the blonde bombshell.
Yeah.
And then there's hats. You know what I
Right.
mean? And then you've got
and then there's
you're
Kiki.
and then yes, and you're in the middle.
The blonde bombshell's name is Randa. Anyone want to deal with that? Or
In the movie?
in the movie, it's Randa.
Randa.
Is
Well-
that just cool?
Yeah, it's a pretty cool name.
Okay.
Randa?
Randa.
Maybe
Yeah.
because she was Randy.
Maybe.
No, it's Randa with an A.
That's
I mean,
hilarious.
I maybe would be Randy, but Randa is
Yeah,
rough.
that's weird.
Here's the thing about Luis Guzman's transformation. Even when she becomes beautiful, she's never able to really get out from underneath those bangs.
Yeah.
But bangs were everything
But
back
those-
then.
that was
like
it.
A
So hard to
But like a
believe
side
that,
a
really?
side pony and bangs is like too much going on.
First of all, to have your bangs straightened out and to have your hair curly is everything I want all day long, every day. When I see her with a straightened out, blown out bang and a curly. For me, it was
blown
everything.
out bang is like half of the blowout is straight up.
Straight up.
Straight
Yeah.
up.
Sprayed up.
Sprayed up
Straight
in a
up,
wall.
sprayed up. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's
Did
what's
you guys
up.
not experience this?
No,
Yeah,
we
This
did.
was all of my high school. Junior high and high school for me was
a wall of bangs.
a wall of
Wow.
bangs going down and an equally as large
Yes.
wall of bangs going
That
up.
was Cheryl Hamjig in my high school
It
class.
was everybody. This was it. This was the height of beauty.
I can send. That is a great
Bangs
picture.
And
both
frosted.
ways.
Bang both ways.
Frost, and I'm talking about like 14-year-old girls
Yeah.
who had what I would consider to be mom haircuts.
Yeah.
Right.
But at the time, when you saw a wall of bangs like that, were you like,
Yes.
Va, 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 boom.
It's true.
Honestly, it depended on whether they'd gotten boobs or not.
Right,
Okay.
right. Okay, that's
Boobs
fair.
were still very important to me at that time.
Sure.
I spent a lot of time getting one section in the side up and
Yep.
then making sure I could wing it out.
Yep.
The better, like the more defined the wing,
Yeah,
the
and
better.
that's what she has in this movie
Right.
too, which is like a
great.
real, wing out with those bangs. Wow.
You've been listening
Amazing.
to Bangs Talk here on How Did This Get Made?
Spin-off of Wig Talk.
The Rayfield sisters bringing you Wing Talk.
I do want to get behind one thing before we get into even some of the other classic moments. Why was she so hated by the teachers? She also
yeah.
seemed hated for no reason.
Well, that's
like,
why that one teacher is making fun of her for being late, but also making fun of her for skipping a grade. Like,
Yeah.
who do you think you are? You think
yeah,
you're so
I
smart.
want to knock her down a peg. It's not that's not a teacher thing to throw down the kids who are smart. Like that doesn't seem like the teachers seem like straight up bullies.
That teacher was terrifying.
Well, I do feel there were teachers in our high school and middle school who were friendlier to the kids who were average and cool than they were to like the smart nerds.
Okay.
But this teacher, it didn't line up for.
Well,
like,
he also seemed like a nerd.
yeah, and I don't know why he was so angry at her.
Whipping a desk. And then when she did do the voodoo doll, it was he walked into a car wash.
yeah, I loved it.
Yeah,
Oh, that was
that
great.
was some great
why
physical
wouldn't he
comedy when he
why
walked
wouldn't
in.
he just feel like he's in a car wash?
That's what I didn't understand. Is that how voodoo dolls work? Where if you take off their clothes, the voodoo doll takes off its. Where if you take off the voodoo doll's clothes, the person takes off.
I always
his arm.
thought voodoo dolls had to do with pins. Like you pin
Me
one
too.
section and then their arm goes this way. You pin another and their
And
leg
yeah.
goes. You know, I
That's
thought
what
it was
you
more
would-
pins.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think for the sake of the movie, it's more witchcraft than voodoo. So maybe, yeah. I mean, like, we'd have to ask real witches.
Now let me ask this: Was
Now-
Madame Sabrina a real witch?
She seemed to need a lot of help being a witch. Like she had a lot of
so
opportunities.
she was just a fortune teller.
No,
I think she was a witch.
But,
Yeah,
then
but she
why
couldn't
couldn't
do
she
anything.
her own? Why couldn't she do her own spells?
That's the thing. She was not great at it being a witch. She'd had a lot of time at it, but she wasn't like great at it. I mean, why wouldn't she just make her own money? Why did she care how much money
Didn't she
Louise
do?
Guzman was going to bring?
Didn't she make her
made
own
one
money out of
little
that
stack.
out of that coal or whatever?
But then if she can just make up her own money, why does she care that this gal who's walked in doesn't have a lot of
why
cash?
wait
She needed
so
to
long
like
to
have the
renovate that
double
place?
power. She needed to like go, I got to hold your hand on all these things. Like that's why she made her frog into the boyfriend. That's why the house got weirdly interior decorated, but no one
redid it.
I
commented
couldn't
on.
figure that out at all.
No one, she didn't go, oh, you changed your house. Like no one ever
It was
commented.
the same place?
Same place.
Same place.
But like
No.
all new interior furniture.
But yet the witch is like, oh yeah, we went to school back in 1800 together. Like she showed her the book.
Yeah.
So they were together, but one was more powerful than the other.
I just get the sense that she didn't have a lot of skills as a witch, and she needed this youth to kind of help her beef up her potions.
I kind of want to see a prequel with that character going through school. I would like.
I'm very into it.
I would love to see, very cool, very artful, early 1900s, just going around having fun with Zelda Rubinstein.
Like you could easily take this movie and make a Buffy the Vampire Slayer style TV show based on this.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's
I mean, I feel like
it's
they've
no
made
different.
that. It's like, what was that show where the girl
yeah.
touched her two fingers together and then?
Small wonder?
No, this is like a girl whose
No,
dad was an alien.
yeah.
Like
Wasn't that the one that Paul Feig was on?
Oh, was it? Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
Well, that's a different one. That's Sabrina.
yeah,
Sabrina the
that's-
Teenage Witch is essentially that.
this.
That's true. You're right.
Yeah, we shouldn't even go out of. Yeah, they did
That's
it.
this.
They've done it. I'm right.
That's this. Why did she have birth control in her bag?
That was a
that
crazy.
about?
I don't know.
By the way, this is the most sexed up school of all time. Every class was about sex.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they were always talking about sex, but yeah, they don't explain why she was on birth control.
I mean, some girls needed to regulate their period, but I feel like.
But no,
we
he
should've-
says it's not used. Doesn't he say it's
she's
not
just-
being used?
But she's
just,
carrying it around like a condom?
like just in case.
Like, I'll
She just
pop these
knowing
if I
how to
start
use it.
getting
just in case Brad's ready, she's gonna like start taking
She
birth
got her
control.
And that's
prescription
not
together.
how it works. Also sending out the wrong message. Like,
Yeah.
she should be taking them on the off chance
But
that
you
she
know what?
does get.
It's responsible for her to be on birth control.
But she's
It
not.
absolutely
Yep.
is.
But
I
she's
know.
not.
Maybe
I know.
it was a new packet and this was her first day.
yeah,
Like, we missed the scene where she
I
went
don't
to
know.
the pharmacy.
Maybe.
I love the condom chant.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God.
Let's listen to the sex ed scene here. This is the teacher holds up an umbrella, and this is what transpires when the teacher is told that she has to teach health, so she immediately has to teach them about sex. Here we go.
Well, now, Adam had one of these. Does anyone know what this might represent?
A Roger, a loved one, joystick, dong, zipper lizard, tallywhacker, trouser snake, schlong.
That's enough, Fred. Thank you.
No problem.
Now it's a race against time. Sparky's sperm is loose and he's heading for the target, Edna the egg. And when he reaches it, he makes a baby. That is exactly what we don't want. Not yet. So,
So crazy.
use one of these.
She pulls out a condom.
All times. It's called a condom.
Condom. Condom.
Condom.
That is an insane
Wow.
scene because it's
that happens in the movie.
that
Yeah, it
is
does.
What?
It does.
it goes to English as a second language for a moment when she's like condom.
And then they chant it. It's so weird.
Well, I guess that is a theme in a lot of these teen movies, though, just the parents and adults being so disconnected from like what kids know.
But it almost seemed like they learned condom in that moment. Like it was like they were learning it too.
Even though they
like you're
knew
teaching a
all
gorilla.
even though they knew all of the words for dicks.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Condom
like
was
she's
new.
like, well, you might know 25 rhyming words for dicks, but I bet you don't know what a condom is.
Well, it started to feel like reproduction from Grease too.
Which is a great number.
Scene. And I believe that they shot more of a musical number for this
That
and
broke
then
out.
realized is it an exact replica
Yeah.
of Grease 2 and had to cut it
It
down.
does-
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the number of chairs that were in her bedroom.
Okay.
Or the lack of.
Well, they were in the closet, and we did see how many chairs were in there.
Oh, but that was there was a reason.
Yes, of course there
Okay.
was a reason. Well, because every single family member who came in commented on the fact that there were no chairs there. This is a girl's bedroom. How many chairs do you think she would need
15.
in a bedroom? I guess you're right. There were chairs stacked upon chairs, stacked upon chairs.
But do you know the reason was?
I know the reason, Jason. She wanted him on the bed.
She had to
do
get
her
him on the
spell.
bed for the spell to
How
work.
many
That's
chairs?
not my problem.
How many chairs
My
does one
problem
even
is
have in a
one.
bedroom?
At the vanity.
One.
At the
One
most.
at
One.
the vanity. And that's
Okay.
June,
it.
how many chairs do we have in our bedroom?
0.
Exactly. Jason, how
Whoa.
many chairs do you have in your bedroom?
6?
You have 6 chairs?
6 chairs in my bedroom.
Wow.
Most of them just are surrounding the poker table.
You have, oh, yeah.
I have a poker table in my bedroom.
Off to the side of the bed.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
tasteful.
Just because a bunch of guys play poker there most nights.
And you go about your business. You
I
don't play
just
poker.
sleep.
Yeah.
I don't play poker.
There
I'm not a
are-
gambler.
They're
Like-
not ghosts that lived in the house before when that burnt down when it used to be a house of repute, right?
I don't know.
All right, no, I won't get into it, but I know your house was actually famous for being a whorehouse gambling establishment in the early 1920s.
It burned down, and a lot of people who were gambling died.
Yeah, right.
And if you set a table, they will come and they will play. Let's not
Say
worry
your
about
voice.
it.
Okay, sure.
Let's not worry about it.
Okay, so 30. All right.
So 6 chairs. Okay.
Yeah, they all are obsessed with the chairs in her room.
And where they went.
She's got a lot of room there. I mean, you need to put 6 chairs in a closet that's a big closet.
Put 6 wicker chairs in the closet. I mean, where those chairs must have there must have been 1 chair at her vanity and then 5 chairs just
Spread about.
that bedroom.
Just
Spread
for
about.
guests.
And why was he so opposed to sitting on her bed? He was
Well,
really.
to me, if I were him, I would have been like, "Well, let's go downstairs."
Yeah, to
Like,
the
I
dining
would have
room
been
table.
like, "Why are we going to your bedroom?"
Well, I mean, don't you think that he kind of would like to get in her bed?
Not at that point, no.
He wasn't seeing her any kind of way at that point.
Yeah, not at that point.
All right, I hear you. So animals were harmed in making of this movie, right? We could all agree on that. When they forcibly take a dog and try to throw it into the bathtub,
Yep.
that dog was
don't-
not
I don't like
trained
that.
and did not seem like he wanted to be there at all. Like that dog was. That actually made me feel bad for a
The
dog.
dogs never want to be there.
In
You're
movies.
saying that as though, yeah, like they're
Well,
psyched
some dogs
to
like
be there.
Benji, some dogs like Benji are excited to get out in the movie world and do this stuff.
Yeah.
Benji at Marineland, he got
Well,
into his own shit.
Benji, notoriously very ambitious.
Yes. Not like a Milo from Milo and Otis only probably did like 1 film.
Yeah.
Benji was like in it to win it. Like
Oh,
this
yeah.
dog definitely didn't have the eye of the tiger at all.
Not at all.
No, I mean he didn't. There have been, and that's a bummer when you have a dog like that take away parts from dogs who really want to be working.
So, I mean, just think of how many dogs didn't get jobs that year.
Yeah, and it's because if you're not giving it your all as a dog, as
Right.
an acting dog, it's like then leave it open for everybody else. It's not
Okay.
fair. It's not fair.
Were those bubbles just there prior to her turning her brother into a dog? Is that
Well,
the
listen,
deal?
she came home from school. He was eating a giant pizza at the table.
With
the
marshmallows.
only conclusion, the marshmallows.
It was marshmallows. I thought it was giant pieces of mozzarella.
I believe they were
I
marshmallows.
think you're way smarter than
The
me.
only
Yeah.
conclusion I could come to is that he had set a bath for himself.
Oh, and she knew
Nope.
it was ready to go?
Nope.
Where'd
There
that
is
bath come
no way that
Creature.
kid takes baths.
Oh, he's disgusting.
He's disgusting. Like, I feel like they have
I
to
love
trick
him.
him into getting in the backyard so they can hose him down.
Yeah, he's like that kind of kid. I feel
He's
like
a
from the
gross kid.
I
grody
want to
kid.
know how old he
Crusty.
was, the actor was, when doing this part.
Well, he is 70. He is
70
40
years old right
He's
now.
70 years old right now. He's 42. Currently.
And he graduated from Yale, and he sold a
else has he
show.
done?
He's a writer.
He's so great.
Yeah, he is. Let's see. He's done a lot of interesting stuff. He is a writer, graduated from Yale, wrote a few novels, got a series picked up by Fox called Howl, and he's a part of Leonardo DiCaprio's posse, affectionately called the Pussy Posse.
He's part of the Pussy Posse?
Oh, that's
The
interesting.
kid from Teen Witch is part of the Pussy Posse?
Yep. And
wow.
yeah, he's part of the Pussy Posse, and here he is. He's
I
definitely.
feel like I've seen him before, definitely.
I mean, we're looking at a picture of him here,
looks
shirtless,
great.
shirtless with a martini glass in front of him, smoking a cigarette, hair grown out.
I love that June goes, he looks great.
I think this guy's amazing.
He said that he really did not like this movie or being associated with this movie until a drag queen told him how much it meant to him.
Oh,
and then
cool.
he said that I don't take compliments from drag queens lightly because they have no problem telling you what time it is. There's no fucking bullshit with drag queens.
Yeah.
So that made him kind of enjoy the movie now. But a very attractive
His
guy.
performance is, to me, in my life, legendary.
It is.
He's been in a lot of different good stuff.
You
Yeah.
think you're special because you went to a dance.
His line readings are
Huge.
so perfect.
So good.
It's almost like the director was just like, have
you,
fun
do
and
you.
do your whole thing.
Can you imagine if you're casting this movie and this guy walks in
Yeah.
and
Oh my
does
God.
that with these words?
Right.
And
Like a
you're just like,
1940s gangsters
You're
walked
like,
in.
thank God.
Well, don't you think that they were like, oh shit, this movie doesn't really have humor? Like if
Right.
you took him out, there's no jokes in this movie. Where like John Hughes had jokes and
Yep.
characters that were funny. Everybody here is kind of sad. Like ultimately
Yeah.
a sad sack.
Sad sack. Yeah, the mom could have used a little brother in her performance. Like the mom was just
A lot of people could.
Okay.
Yes, totally.
Shall we get into Top That? The
Sure.
first ever rap battle on film. I'm calling it and saying it's the first ever rap battle on film. Let's take a listen to the classic Top That.
I'm king, and they know it. When I snap my fingers, everybody say sure. I'm hot, and you're not. But if you want to hang with me, I'll give it one shot. Top that.
Supersonic, idiotic, disconnected, not respected. Who would ever really want to go and top that? Such a waste of pretty face, but hanging in your nose space. I wish that you would take a look and really stop that. Top that. Well, stop that. I don't really give a about trying to top that. Top that. Stop that. I wish you finally take a real look and really stop that.
What's this?
Stop that.
Yeah.
Stop that. I don't really give a about trying to stop that.
Top that.
Big deal.
Stop that.
Unreal.
You can try to, you blue.
I will make a fool of you. Top that.
And then she walks away from the kids that she likes, seemingly to never have another connection with him again.
Yep.
She just needed
Well,
to
because
top that.
she's also under like one of Louise's spells.
Right.
She's not a rapper. That she's like, they're looking at them rapping, and then Louise kind of gives her a little like bewitched, like.
But she's like, I wish I could get in there.
Yeah. And Louise gives her a little spell so that she can like top that.
Now that you two relate to the movie, Deanna and Jason, were kids doing this in high school at the time, just rapping by
say-
cars and by lockers?
I will say not rapping, but for sure breakdancing.
Okay.
Yeah, a
Like
lot of
for
breaking.
sure there was a lot of like breakdancing in the hallways of school. That and I might have participated.
Oh my God, Pix
my
please,
God.
ASAP.
100%.
Pix please.
June used to always bust my chops about my blossom. It like when I
You were hats.
No, I was hats.
You were hats.
I was hats all day long. But no, like later on in life, she would go up to people like we just have met someone.
Yeah.
Maybe I was trying to make an impression, and she would say to them, "Deanna used to dress like a grandma in high school." I was like, "Oh, okay, awesome." But like I was hats, and that move when she slowly took the hat down, like that's everything I wanted to do. That's everything I
Show
wanted
everybody
to
what's
be.
under that hat.
Just
Yeah.
show everybody what's. I would
What
wear a
you've been
hat
hiding.
and a tie and a
You
vest
would wear,
and a jacket.
you would be accessorized from head
head to toe.
What I loved about the cool when the Teen Witch put on her like jean jean jacket. It was a jean jacket with like a swatch of rug.
Yes.
Like a rug that you would
Paisley.
see. Yeah.
Here's the interesting thing, because to me, that's very Molly Ringwald in
Pretty in Pink?
Pretty in Pink. Like that look, we all saw and considered like beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that is what Luis Guzman is giving us in the beginning of this movie is
True.
Molly Ringwald, which was
Cool.
cool.
Well, sort of. She's giving us a little bit of that, but she's giving us the frumpier version of it.
Yeah,
You
right.
know, and then when she gets into full-on side pony and neon stuff and mini skirts,
Then it's like
then she's giving us
More of the 80s kind of, like, or more the newer thing, or 90s?
more of like, I'm trying to think of who the character is that represents it, but like
She's in more Valley Girl Mall, like
Yeah,
that kind of
that
thing.
kind
The girl
of
from
girl.
the girl from Some Kind of Wonderful, the blonde who was in the Untamed Heart movie with Christian Slater, like Mary.
not Mary Stuart Masterson. No, because Mary Stuart Masterson is a tomboy. She's wearing like overalls.
Oh, yeah,
and
and
has a short
hats.
hair
Yeah,
and
yeah.
hats and plays the drums. And you know that movie was an answer movie because they shot Pretty in Pink, wherein Molly Ringwald ends up with Ducky at the end.
Oh, right.
And audiences, young girl audiences, revolted.
I know. It's one
and
of
we're
the
like,
most devastating.
We want her to end up with Blaine.
I know.
So they had to redo the movie to end up with Blaine. And then John Hughes was like, you know what? I don't like it. I'm going to make a different movie where the right two people end up, and it is Some Kind of Wonderful.
Oh, wow. Maybe Valley
See,
Girl?
and
Is it
that's
that
so
like that
interesting,
kind of
'cause
look?
watching Pretty in
No, maybe
Pink,
not.
to me at the end of that movie, and it is interesting that most young girls felt that way, because I could never shake feeling so sorry for Ducky.
Oh my God.
I was so
Yeah.
Oh.
devastated.
As
that
a
they
dude,
didn't
it was
end up. I'm
demolished.
sure as a guy, but like I
Right.
couldn't
It was like
ever
they
get
win.
over that Ducky and her were not going to be together.
Yeah.
Well, didn't they want to make it like that he was gay? Isn't that the new telling of it? Like he
That
doesn't
Ducky was
belong.
gay?
Yes,
I
he
don't-
doesn't belong with her because he's gay.
I don't think
mean-
so, only because their intention was not that. They shot
Yes.
it so that they would be together. And then had to reshoot the whole movie. They had to
didn't
do a
know
month
that.
of
Yeah, I knew
reshoots
that.
So
to
crazy.
unravel it and figure out how to make it work. But it really was, to me, I was like, wait, the
know.
Richie Rich Handsome guys win?
It's
Are you kidding?
crazy.
Is there any hope for us fedora wearing, blazer wearing
Hall
weirdos?
break dancers? Before we wrap up, I do think that there's one thing that we haven't talked about, and I feel like no one's mentioned to me about this movie, but the murder house that he brings her
Oh my
to
God.
Yeah.
to fuck her or do
Kiss
whatever,
her.
kiss her, essentially, which was the most uncomfortable scene for me. So what a weird. Can we just even unpack this choice? Like he takes her out on this date, brings her into the park to an abandoned
He
house.
also like runs up ahead, and she's
Yeah.
like fighting through,
Through
like
sunflowers.
foliage. Yeah, to try to get there, and it's
Yeah.
really hilly.
and it's bizarre, right? I mean, like that.
Yeah,
like
it's not
what's
safe.
sexual about that house. It's not like
Well, I get it.
I get it too.
Really?
Yeah,
I
I
get
got
it.
it. I
On a
get
level.
it.
Oh,
Did
let's hear it.
you did
I
you
mean,
have those
I
places?
didn't have any action in high school, so there was a bridge, which you
Yeah.
know the
Yeah.
bridge, and that people went to and drank, and I never really went to the
Yeah.
bridge, but I knew it was there, so I felt like this house was just like the house that everyone went to make
Yes.
out. It
Okay.
wasn't like his idea. He's just following what everybody cool.
But
does.
that-
And I
that
also
house
don't think
seemed-
it's a rape house. I think it's like, oh,
This is
there's
where
a
you
secret
go.
place, like in like a field of sunflowers
Yeah.
that is like an abandoned place where we can go and be alone.
But when
You
they
have to
take off her
remember,
shoes,
in high school, you can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
right? I guess, but like to me, it's like when she takes off her shoes.
Yeah,
She takes
that
off her
was-
shoes, and you see that carpet,
Yeah.
and it looks like, oh, this was a murder house.
I agree
And
with
she's
that.
like
I agree
walking
with
up
that.
these
Yeah.
stairs, and she's like in this unfinished room. It does look like
Oh,
this
yeah.
could turn out very wrong.
Sure, for
I
sure.
mean, and it doesn't feel super romantic until they get into
Yeah.
that. Well, the thing that's another bothersome thing for me is too intimate of a kiss. It's
Yeah.
too gentle for
Yeah.
me.
Paul
Okay.
doesn't like it.
I don't like it.
Really doesn't.
When he
ugh.
sees like sincere,
Gentle.
lovemaking on film,
Right.
It grosses
It
me
literally
out.
drives him nuts.
It's also gross when it's also gross. I mean, this is weird, but it's also gross when teenagers kiss gently like adults.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because
I'm so upset right now.
forgive me.
Yeah, I agree.
Forgive me, but teenagers should be like devouring each other.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, like that is like when you see and hear all of her
It's so
poetry
true.
about him, like
Yeah.
just owning her or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you see them just like tender kisses. You're
Braces
like,
should be clanking.
It's
Yes.
tender. It's tender, and that's what was upsetting about it.
yeah.
I was upset. I was fine with the house. I was upset with his sexy hide and seek game because
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was hot until
that scene, because he was presenting his body like it was a gift
Oh my-
from the gods, and it's just
well,
like,
when
dude,
he's throwing those footballs, his bod is
no, his bod is
pretty
great.
rad.
Don't
Come
get
on.
me wrong, but I'm not into a guy presenting his figure and doing a striptease for
Paul?
me. No,
June, you don't seem to mind it when I show you my
no, I
two-pack.
don't like
Two-pack.
that, and I don't like a guy
I would
who's
love for you guys at some point to like Paul runs ahead and is like stripping off his jacket.
Well, he was being like,
Hey, I have
he
a
was being
deep V on under this.
coquettish.
Yeah, like she should have been running up the stairs, and he should be like they flipped the roles. They did flip the roles. Like
Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
he should have been like, hey, what's? Oh, hey,
Yeah.
like you know.
Yep.
She should have been presenting herself, but it was odd.
it was very weird.
Take me, and then that long. It was we hung on it too long.
Yeah.
I agree.
Oh boy, oh
And
boy.
the fact that she wasn't even for 1 second concerned about like a tetanus situation with
Oh.
shoes
Yeah.
off.
Put those
and
shoes
that's,
back
She
on.
should have kept those.
Keep those boots
ironically, the shoe. She should have taken the shoes off walking outside in the grass.
Yes.
and put
Yeah,
them
back
on
on in the
inside on the
murder
floor.
house.
Come on, guys.
Yes.
Obviously, we had an opinion about this movie, but there are people out there that had a different opinion. It is now time for Second Opinions.
Second opinion, second opinion, they're not your first, but they're gonna be a second.
These are second opinions. From top to bottom, crazy movies are fun. From the tips of Amazon, they come. Second opinions for everyone. Second opinions.
All right, these are 5-star reviews cold from Amazon, all about the film Teen Witch. This is from J-Dub, and simply written like this. Teen Witch is the most magical movie of all time. I watch it 3 times a day, sometimes 4 on the weekends. 5 stars. Which obviously, they're not being truthful, but it is odd. This one's written by Stephanie May. Maybe I love this movie because I was the fat, lonely girl who had crushes on all the cute guys, but they didn't even know I was alive. So I guess this movie was my wish. I can't wait for it to be out on DVD, and I watched today thinking back to that time and smiling that I overcame that awkwardness and found my great guy, me being fat or not. But at that time in my life, I thought the only way I was going to ever get a cute guy to like me was to get handed some magical powers. LOL. But seriously, 5 stars. And then finally, this is by Terry L. I'm 53 years old, and I like most things that have to do with Halloween. The movie Teen Witch is one of my favorite classical movies. I would recommend it to anyone at any age who's looking to see what it's like to be popular, being popular, and then wanting your original life back as it was. Great movie.
Here's the thing, which we didn't even really discuss. She does give up her powers.
Ish.
She throws off the amulet, but
The what?
her necklace.
You said it. Amulet.
Amulet.
How do you pronounce it?
I don't know.
Amulet.
Amulet.
Oh, God, here we go. Amulet.
Tell me how you pronounce that hotel chain.
Uh-oh.
Ramada?
Oh, now you do it, right?
Oh, Ramada.
Remember when,
She's like, I think we got a nice hotel at the Ramada.
Oh my God.
when June first moved to LA, she called it Sepulveda. Like it was a crazy.
I think everybody did.
Sepulveda. Boulevard.
But she never does anything to woo him back as herself.
Mm-hmm.
So she just shows up at the dance and is just herself, and he's into it. But nothing is.
Yeah, it was a total. I mean, look, nothing changed. She didn't go back to a different outfit. She's already cool. Nobody
Yeah.
can take that from her. So
No.
nothing
She doesn't
changed.
have like a fall from grace.
Well, that is Teen Witch. You can watch it on Netflix. You can read more about it on slashfilm.com. Blake Harris got deep with the writer, director, and some great stories there. Deanna, talk to us about your podcast. Tell us about it and where they can find it.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This was really important for me to have seen this movie. You know, I don't like movies in general.
Yes,
so,
Deanna is anti-movie.
I mean, you know, whatever. But I
once asked
needed
Deanna
this.
if Deanna has told me she does not like movies.
I don't have the strength for them, but this was important.
Just explain it a little bit more. Like, in
I
what
don't
way?
have this strength to be disappointed. It's like I can sit and watch as much trash TV as you want to throw my way, but if I'm going to commit to a 2-hour movie, I have a lot of expectations, and I want too much, probably.
Okay.
And this delivered, so thank you.
Okay, great. What was one movie that you felt did not deliver?
Recently. Well, she has
Steve Jobs.
Right.
Disappointed.
So, but you would say that 90% of the time you are disappointed by a film.
But you're perfectly satisfied with like back-to-back episodes of House Hunters International?
Yeah, I mean Real Housewives, but yes.
okay.
But yes.
Or a 2-hour episode of The Bachelor.
Sure.
Okay.
Thrilled.
So it's not about the time management.
No.
It's about the expectations.
It's about my expectations being really too high, probably.
Okay.
You know, and I want a lot.
Is there any way to lower them?
I don't. This is going 5 years probably that I've felt this way.
So this is the first movie you've seen in 5 years.
This isn't the first movie, but
she doesn't see movies.
I don't step out and see movies unless somebody, you know, the Steve Jobs I watched with my dad. Like it's only if I. So
have a reason.
This was important. I loved every second of it. I will watch this movie again.
Oh, wow. As a non-movie watcher, that's probably the highest compliment we have.
Absolutely.
As a person who doesn't like movies, that is really high praise.
OMFG, we interview people under 25 and try to stay hip and cool by what they teach us.
This is one of my favorite ones because it's fascinating because I even think, I'm up on enough stuff. But then when you talk to people under 25, you realize how far away you are.
Well, and I will say, when we're talking about John Hughes films, like they were so meaningful to all of us for so many reasons. But like, what do kids have now?
Snapchat,
right?
To watch, like they don't have those movies.
Nope, they have DJ Khaled on Snapchat.
It's like, how do they even learn how to be?
Yeah, or like I mean, Molly Ringwald was just so important to me.
Right.
Oh yeah,
and
just really, she's important.
Yeah.
Well, now a guy who does Family Guy impressions is probably the new kind of
or PewDiePie.
PewDiePie.
And I think something about watching this and seeing the fashions and how people were experiencing life, it's like nothing was ironic. Everyone's dead ass. And I miss that, and I feel bad for kids because they don't have that today.
Well, my question is, what are we going to look back on right now in this moment and go, ooh, we wore that? I think that we have actually, as a society, kind of conserved ourselves.
I think you're wrong. I think we just don't know.
Tattoos. And everything Kylie Jenner does.
Yeah, I think 10, 15 years from now, people being covered in tattoos will be hilarious.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, yes. I'm like so excited for it.
People
cannot
are going to
wait.
be like, look at this. Remember when people just did this to themselves?
There's no way that that's not going to happen because it's a trend and it's crazy.
There's a great comic book, Brian K. Vaughan comic book called Private Eye. That takes place in a very near future where our generation are the grandparents. So all the old people have full sleeve tattoos and are like look ridiculous.
I guess I don't notice it as a trend. Like in my mind, it's just like, oh, some people have tats and some people don't.
Because there's people now that have tattoos that when you were younger in a million, only like bikers and
exactly.
I guess that's true.
It's just
and people who were in the army.
Yeah,
like it was like that
it's
kind of
now
stuff.
just ubiquitous.
Now
everybody
it's
has
like people
tattoos.
are having like Stewie.
Let's
like
all
Luis Guzman would have tattoos.
It's already like it's all like you can look at it in terms of trends even within tattoos. Like a tramp stamp is now an embarrassing tattoo to have, right? Versus like it couldn't have been more like hip and cool to have a tramp stamp at the beginning of that, blah blah blah. So now, like how long before all tattoos are...
I mean, this is meaningful to me as someone who's always debated getting a tattoo.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, at my wedding in November, 2 of my girlfriends from college, we were laughing. They're in formal dresses, and they both have that, like, Pamela Anderson barbed wire tattoo around their arm because that was the tribal stupid thing, and they're horrified by it, but that's tough. What it was.
I also think in, like, 5-10 years... there'll be a way to like one time go and just
And
have a
get 'em
tattoo
off.
just
Yeah.
like removed.
Yeah.
June's tattoo that she wants is on her arm, and it says "got balls," like it's like milk.
Yeah.
But it's like a picture of like 2 testicles. And I
Yeah.
think that
I think that will stand the test of time.
no, it won't.
Like truck nuts.
What's truck nuts?
Truck nuts is like when they hang off the back of the truck, and they look
And
like
it
two
looks like a
single
little
balls.
scrotum with balls.
Roger that.
Jason, what do you want to tell America?
When does this come out, Paul? Today?
Today.
Tonight, I will be on a television show called Brooklyn 99, I think it's called. No, Brooklyn 99. I'm on the next 4 episodes. Check it out. It's very funny.
June, Diane.
Great. I don't really have anything to plug, but I will plug Grace and Frankie. That's on the first season's on Netflix, and the second season comes out May 6th.
Wow. That sounds very exciting. And I just said that only to stall for my own thought about I didn't have anything to plug. I don't think I have anything to plug, but I will tell.
It seemed like you were genuinely hearing
Oh,
that.
I'll also say, if you want to watch me make out with Allison Brie, go watch How to Be Single.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, of
In
course.
theaters
I haven't seen
now.
it yet, but I can't wait to.
You know what? I don't have anything to plug specifically, but I'll tell you this much. Listen to the mini episodes. They're new, they're improved, and we listen to you. That's right. We have a whole section of the mini episodes devoted to things that we might have missed or things we got plain wrong in all of our episodes. So if you think we missed anything in Teen Witch, let us know. Go to the Earwolf forums, and I will read the best ones on the next mini episode. So much for you to check out there. Also, follow us on the good old Twitter at HDTGM and on Facebook for all of our latest announcements, our live shows, and all that good stuff. And a big thank you to Avril Halley, who pulls all of our amazing clips, and we're going to play some clips and load some stuff up there. Also, Nate Kiley does all of our research, and then Cody, who did all of our engineering, and everybody here at Earwolf. Thank you all for listening. Thank you guys so much. See you next time. Bye-bye.